But that if you ever come anyways close to his grave, he'll reach up and grab you.
Writer and director Montgomery Pittman crafts an ambiguous western wrapped in a haunting ghost story. In the Twilight Zone Season 3, Episode 7, The Grave, standard western tropes are shaken by those of the horror genre. The acting and studio set designs are a standout. Our story focuses on an Old West lawman, Connie Miller, played by Lee Marvin, who rides into a small dusty town after the townsfolk have gunned down the man he failed to track for months. Someone wagers he doesn't have the nerve to visit the dead man's grave, and he accepts to prove he was never afraid of him.
What's wrong with you? You people know me. How come all of a sudden you think I'm afraid?
Because we'd be afraid. You can draw your gun real fast, Connie. We seen you. But out in that graveyard, that gun ain't gonna be worth a copper cent.
Lee Marvin gives a terrific performance embodying the drifter stereotype who rides into town. So much is told by the way he moves, it's slow-like, coupled with moments of static. It conveys a great sense of fear he gradually builds as the men in the saloon rattle on about the grave. It's a different episode, told almost entirely expository, and yet we get no definitive answers. We are never sure if Connie Miller abandoned his task or not. His fate is ultimately ambiguous. I think the greatest strength from the grave comes from suggestion. Nothing's for sure. It's eerie and lingers with you.
Reckon you're some disappointed, Connie. Being as how you spent so much time trying to find him for yourself.
That I am, Ira. 4 months of the year wasted looking for him. I could have found him here.
That ain't the way Pinto tells it. He claims you didn't even try to catch up to him.
Ellen Willard as Ione is a great addition. She comes across quite aloof. There's just a flare of mystery around her. You become uncertain of how sinister her motives actually are. She seems to know something and doesn't exactly hide it.
You've been chasing him for so long, Connie. You ought to feel lucky tonight. You know right where he is. All you gotta do is walk up there. Isn't that nice?
I love the use of wind throughout this episode. Constant and deafening, it's rather unsettling against the conversations had in the saloon. Jump scares incorporate this well, whether it's a breach of the door or a banging of an old window frame. It adds another level to the cinematography. I want to touch on a great shot right near the end of the episode. Ione, who is by the grave, slowly descends down the hill towards Connie Miller. Darkly cloaked, this is likely symbolic of a reaper of sorts, perhaps foreshadowing events to follow. I find watching this late at night quite atmospheric. You become immersed, drawn into the unnatural. It's my personal favourite of the Twilight Zone episodes. It doesn't disappoint.
You go on up there and see Pinto. I just came from there. He's waiting for you.